What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another movie review. I'm Chase Lee, reviewing for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and the movie I want to take a look at right now is The Painted Bird. Now, this one comes from IFC. It is directed by, please bear with me, Vaclav Marhal. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And this one tells the story of a young Jewish boy somewhere in Eastern Europe that seeks refuge during World War II, where he encounters many different characters. It is based on the very controversial novel by Jerzy Kosinski. I think this book is banned in Poland, or it was at some point. It still is, or it's not. Whatever. It was. Books being banned is, that is a feat. You have to be really kind of out there to get your book banned in certain countries. Also, the writer of this novel claims that he experienced a lot of this during World War II and how he was separated from his parents and he encountered people like this and he had to survive on his own. Then it came out that this was all made up, all fiction. So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with here. So, okay. I never saw any trailers to this film. Never saw a poster. I saw one still from it when I got the email sent to me to ask if I wanted to review this. I saw it. It was black and white. I was like, cool. This could be a beautiful looking film. It's almost 3 hours long, set in World War II. This could be a very devastating and emotionally impactful, film based in, World War II. Like, this could be another, Schindler's List situation, even getting down to, a long runtime, black and white. Like, this could be something to talk about. And when I saw all the reviews online, people were claiming it was a masterpiece and this is one of the best films I've ever seen and all that stuff. And I was like, oh my God, what are we getting ourselves into? So I was kind of excited to see it. You have to watch something kind of light afterwards, for sure. But experiences like this don't come often. And so I was curious to see what this one would do. So I saw it, and I gotta tell you, I think IFC broke me on this one. IFC sometimes dishes out great movies, sometimes dishes out bad movies. You just never know what you're gonna get. I am speechless, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I will not grade this movie. I will also not recommend it. I'm just going to talk about it and you can decide for yourself. And you might think that that's like reverse psychology. Like, ooh, it's so controversial. I just got to check it out. Now, I never want to see this movie again. Never. I recognize some of the good stuff in it, but I never want to watch this again. So take that for what you will. So some of the positives, let's be nice for a little bit. The cinematography is some of the best black and white cinematography I have ever seen in a film. It is absolutely stunning. The textures of everything in every single scene are rich and detailed, and it just provides this really kind of somber atmosphere, even against the contrast of the horrors that we're seeing in this film. It's just beautiful. It's kind of peaceful, this black and white cinematography. And like I said, it's super textured. You can see everything in intricate detail. It is absolutely stunning. There's even some shots that look like you could pause and you could pass it off as a picture from that time period, and you could be like, oh, I pulled this from the archives. That's how great it is. Once again, I have no issues with the way this film looks. Absolutely breathtaking. Some of the performances are good. Some are committed, that's for sure. But I'd say for portraying some pretty awful people, even the little boy in this film that's, going from town to town, person to person, that's a lot for this kid to do. I guess he does a pretty good job because you're following this kid's journey. He's kind of cutting through all these people's lives, and we're seeing these people's lives through his perspective. I thought for the subject matter, for sure, and just the daunting task to carry this film, I thought, he did what he did. And some of the other supporting characters are good, and then some of them, like I said, they're very committed to what their craft. So, and that's about it. That's all I can really say about this in terms of positives. One more thing. I will say that for the 2 hour and 49 minute runtime, it's not that daunting. I don't mind long movies. The pace of it is not bad. It really isn't. It kind of moves along at a steady pace, and it keeps your interest, for better or worse, in each scene. And also you have the wonderful cinematography to look at. It's just the 2 hour and 49 minute runtime could have been its downfall in how it was executed in pacing, but it's actually not that bad. So this film, like I said, has a lot in terms of subject matter. There is a lot of domestic abuse, abuse in general, animal abuse, pedophilia, bestiality. What am I missing? Graphic war violence, people burning alive, Nazi officers shooting babies. The run-of-the-mill kind of nightmare scenario you would get from a war film. I don't know what to say. It's a lot. It's literally 3 hours of this kid going through the worst scenarios anyone could ever experience. Some of it is hard to watch, and I have seen some stuff. This has to be the darkest thing that IFC, I think, has ever put their brand on, and that includes IFC Midnight stuff. I don't know how you could sit through this and claim it's a masterpiece. You could make the argument like, oh, this is how life is sometimes. This is how the depraved humans can be, and that's what this film is an allegory for. Is just like this little kid who doesn't know better. He's young. He has to grow up super quickly in each town that he's in because these people are just so depraved, and he has to survive the mental torture, the physical abuse, just everything that he encounters. And he has the strength to survive and get through it because war is not pretty. It is disturbing, it is disgusting, and it is violent and heartbreaking. And so he has to survive through all that. So it's an allegory of war and how depraved it can be. I get that. I totally do. And people are going to watch this review and be like, no, you didn't get it. Trust me, I get it. But I feel like the film is battling itself constantly. So let's just pull it up because, it is the closest in resemblance in terms of time length and, presentation. Schindler's List. It has some kind of realistic wartime violence. It is visceral. It is brutal. It is in your face. It's like a blunt trauma force to the head. But it's told in a way where, yes, it is disturbing and it is hard to watch because that is the reality of the situation. But it has that light at the end of the tunnel. There are characters that you root for to help save people out of this situation. There's elements in there of the good and the bad that make it, yes, for a very daunting task to watch, and it's really kind of emotionally draining. But it's an experience. I feel like this one is trying hard to be that experience and to live through this hell that this kid goes through, and knowing that this is a very bleak and grim approach to war. There's not a lot of light to this, and that's not the issue. The issue, I feel like, it's just trying so hard to be as disturbing and gross as possible to get its point across. which is weird to me because the way this film is shot is so elegant, it's striking, it provides like another emotional layer to it just from the way this film looks. And I feel like it's being serious in the way it's being presented. And then there's some stuff that just like, it crosses that line, but it doesn't, it feels like it's doing it for shock value and not so much more for this boy and his journey, or, getting like, some type of emotion out of you. It's just there to like, yeah, that's pretty depraved, right? Like I enjoy. And it's just like, it does that constantly. And like, when it gets to like the pedophilia and like the bestiality stuff, that's all within the same scene. And it's already disturbing to watch. But like when it gets to like the bestiality stuff, it's like cartoonish in the way it's delivered. Like it's actually just kind of like gross and creepy, and you're like, what is this? Like it just, like I said, I don't know. This is why I can't grade this. I can't recommend it. I can't do any of that. I have to just give you what I just saw, and you do whatever you want with that. I don't even know. This film has broken my brain. I am now mush. I don't even know if I can review post this movie, but yeah, I just always feel like this film's themes and subject matter is just constantly battling its seriousness in the approach of the visual storytelling, and it doesn't blend well. There are some scenes that are effective with some, like Nazi officers coming to gun down innocent people or throwing them off of trains. That stuff is really effective, and it's heartbreaking to watch. It brings a tear to your eye while you're watching it, but you understand the importance of showing it because that's how the war was. And then it gets to the other scenes, like I said, and you're just kind of grossed out, and you're like, okay, like I don't know. It's a visceral reaction for sure, and that's what the filmmaker was going for. But is it the type of reaction that is warranted? Not only beating you over the head with it multiple times, because this is almost 3 hours long, it's just scene after scene after scene after scene of brutal violence or just some type of abuse, and you're like, how much can you take mentally while watching this? It's an exercise for sure. Like I said, beautiful to look at. Some of the best I've ever seen, cinematography-wise, photography-wise. Some of the subject matter is warranted in being that graphic and brutal. It gets the point across, and it makes its stance. And then some of the stuff, it's just so out there that I don't know. I think people are going to be in two camps when they watch this. They're either going to find it to be a masterpiece, or they're going to find it to be one of the worst things they've ever seen. It's boring, long, repetitive torture, all that stuff, or you're going to think it's a masterpiece. Because a lot of the reviews I've been seeing have been saying like, oh, this is a masterpiece because what this boy went through and how he survived and the allegory for war and all that stuff, it's not pretty ever, like, and he has to grow up super fast. Once again, I get that, but it is a daunting task to sit through it. Some of the stuff is it's crossing the line to cross the line. I don't feel like there's any power there. It's just there. And that's a lot of the scenes, and it's a lot of the runtime. So, kind of up in the air about it. So I don't really know. I don't know what to tell you. That's my review of The Painted Bird. You can decide for yourself. And I would like to know, let's keep it civil in the comments, if you did think it was a masterpiece. Let me know down below, because I know this film has a lot of reviews on it, and I know it's going to appeal to a lot of people. Let me know down below what you thought about it and what you would rank it in terms of grades, or if it's a masterpiece or if it's not. But that was my experience with The Painted Bird. I never, ever, 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 ever want to watch it again. But I can understand the merits behind it and why some people honestly think it's a masterpiece. So let me know down below what you thought of The Painted Bird. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can do that, and you can get updates on when I review anything. If you're more of a podcast person and you don't want to see my ugly mug, you can do that and subscribe to the Real Me and Cole and the Movie Podcast feed, and you can do just that. We're all over the place. Just type us in and it will take you there, like in Google and stuff, and it'll take you to all the platforms. But yeah, this movie was one of the ones that broke me. So there you go. That will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.